Welcome to the Man Up, Man Down podcast, presented by Volker Beluda and David Pawsey. We discuss the pressures and challenges faced by men approaching middle age that we're often too embarrassed to speak about with our friends. You can find us online at www.manupdown.com. Enjoy the show and don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review.
Welcome to the Man Up, Man Down Christmas special, where I'm going to be using all the special effects that we don't normally use because it really wouldn't be appropriate.
Oh dear.
Volker's shaking his head while his nipples are flashing.
Yeah, look at it. The good thing about video is we can now show off our Christmas jumpers.
Exactly. And I've got one that I'm sure will be very, very dear to your heart.
Would it be very dear to my heart?
Yeah.
Oh, David Hasselhoff.
There we go. I'm like...
This one is also very dear to my heart.
Well, I was going to... There we go. But
great.
Yeah, no, obviously wasn't it David Hasselhoff that reunified Germany?
Of course he was, yeah. Was that before he was an alcoholic or after?
He wasn't a major alcoholic, was he?
Was he not?
I know. Well, he was fond, and his daughter posted that
he pissed himself at Heathrow.
But yeah, no, that's perfectly normal behaviour. That's not alcoholic behaviour. That was fine. But you know, he cleaned up his act after that. So you know.
Did he clean up his act?
It
Probably
did
not
the
himself.
job. Yeah. I was going to try and make a joke about Kit, but I couldn't think of one, so I won't. So yeah, where did you get your jumper from?
So actually, I'm not a big Christmas person, as you know. As most people know.
As we can see.
Yeah. You know, it makes my hair stand up, as you can see, right? I got a Christmas jumper. I finally gave in 2019, after I left corporate life, to buy myself a Christmas jumper. So I always refused. So in 2019 I bought one, wore it once, and since then, because it has been COVID and I've been self-employed, there hasn't been many occasions, but today, to really wear this Christmas jumper. So I wore it on a couple of Christmases. Wow. So yeah, but it's a great jumper.
Oh man, so we truly are honoured.
We are on it. So now I'm trying to do what... Sorry, you go ahead. You continue.
Yeah, well no, actually, I see this used to be my Christmas one. But,
a Tesco one.
Yeah, but obviously they don't do that brand.
Can you hear that now? Sorry.
No, that we all love that. Anyway, but yeah, so this is actually a brand new purchase, and it is the first wearing of it. But
is it? It looks familiar. I'm sure I've seen it. Maybe I have one as well.
Well, maybe you've been targeted with the same Facebook ads.
Yeah, probably.
But I was saying yesterday in the office that when I wear it into the office, because of the age of like the majority of the people in there, I reckon there'll be like two or three people that get the reference, and then like no one else will have any idea of. Well, actually, they might know who the Hoff is, but
I mean, is the Hoff still alive? He must be ancient.
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
He was doing America's Got Talent, I think.
Really?
I mean, I know that, you know, obviously I'm the pop cultural aficionado, but I have to say that, America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent, they're sort of things that have passed me by. But,
I mean, he's 72, allegedly.
Alright, well, so he's still alive, then.
Yeah.
But, didn't he invent Tesla with his automated car? Yeah.
That's better.
Anyway, might need to give that a rest.
Yeah. So Christmas. Are you a Christmas fan? I don't know if we ever touched on that. We must have talked about that last year and the year before. You know, it's the third Christmas. Is it the third
Yeah.
Christmas?
Well, I mean, one of the things I was going to say actually on the first Christmas special. No, because I think we did a Christmas special, and then we published the live event as the Christmas episode last year.
Oh, I don't
So I
remember.
don't know if we. I don't know, but I do know that the first one that we did, just as we finished recording, it started snowing. But it's quite a sunny day, so I don't think we're going to get that today.
Oh, it's very sunny today.
Oh, I just realised the one I
December.
didn't use the gift that you sent me. Action.
Oh yeah, there we go. See, early Christmas gift. So I'm looking up
but
now.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, I'm actually feeling well. So last year, obviously, we were in New York, which was a fairy tale. Fairy tale in New York. You know the Pogue song. No, that's lost on Volker.
Totally lost what you were saying though. But yeah.
Anyway.
You went New York last year.
But yeah, this is like the first. Well, you know, so we, you know, obviously that was the first Christmas without Dad, so it was like, right, want to do something completely different. But yeah, this year, well, we're going up to Alicia's brother in Blackpool, which will be an amazing drive. Which, you know, is always a nightmare journey at the best of times, and we're driving up on Christmas Eve, so
Oh, do you?
really looking forward to that.
Nice.
But, something that I've got into recently is cold water swimming. So I'm will be taking my wetsuit and yeah, looking forward to having a dip maybe on Christmas Day.
Do you still have your cold water tub as well?
Or a cold water barrel.
Barrel, sorry.
Yeah, I haven't.
Barrel.
Basically, well, so when I broke my ankle, I couldn't really get into it or give it a good clean. So it's basically it could probably do with the clean, but yeah, cold water swimming's probably well, I'm finding it a little bit more enjoyable than having to constantly clean out the barrel, which isn't a euphemism.
Clean out the barrel.
Yeah. So have you got any exciting plans?
Yeah, we're going away, so you know, going for the first time. My wife isn't working over Christmas, so we actually going to go away.
She's a nurse, not a Christmas elf.
Not a Christmas elf, no. Although you could think, you know, being related to me, she could be an elf. So I'm looking forward to Christmas actually. Although if I say I don't like Christmas, I find the last few weeks, and I know we talked about that briefly when we came on. Like this week I've been busy, and we're like 3 weeks out to Christmas, right? Then I'm going to be really busy next week, and then hopefully the last week before Christmas I get really, really quiet, so I can get all the shit done I didn't get done all year. Because I used to work between Christmas and New Year just to clear out stuff. But I had a quiet afternoon one of the weeks, and I already cleared out my cupboards and shit. So I'm on top of that already. But there's so much admin to do. I always leave it to the last week before Christmas. That's what I always look forward to, when it gets quiet and you can get
Your
the
admin.
work done.
It's
that
the
sad?
most wonderful time of the year for admin.
Because I can get admin done. Is that sad? I don't know why
if that's
that
what
is.
makes you happy, Volker, then you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always happy when I work, right? So work is a big part of my life because I enjoy it. But I don't know where it's coming from, but I guess because Christmas for me has always been associated with, you know, if I say church and stuff, and I'm just not a big church person. So yeah, there's no association for me for that. So for me, the association is about quiet time. And of course, I mean, when the kids were younger, it was, you know, all about them having Christmas. But now they're teenagers. I don't want to say they don't care about Christmas, but you know, it's good food. You know, everyone is get together, families together, so that's all nice. You know, so I like that. But the whole, you know, tree, you know, the decorations everywhere. It's just not. You know, look at me. It's just not me. It's just not me. So I'm a Grinch. I think I said that on the first year as well. I'm just a bit of a Grinch. But I do like the quiet time. That's, you know, something to be said for, because everyone is off at the same time. It's like France in August, right? It's like all Christmas is like France in August. Like, you don't miss out on anything. You can do whatever you want. You have quiet time. You can relax. And hopefully you don't have a cold. I just got through 3 colds, I think, in the last 4 weeks. So I should be all right. And just not having to worry for a few days.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I and I think that's the bit. And I remember, you know, sort of when you were younger, it was like, great, it's like 2 weeks in the pub with your mates. But I think, you know, there's sort of so much to be said about having time off, but not really doing anything. You know, and I think so when you go, you know, and the thing is, you know, we talk about alcohol a lot on this podcast, but you know, it can be easy to sort of go on holiday and then just drink, and then you come back exhausted. And well, obviously over Christmas you end up drinking more than normal. But yeah, you know, I think there's a lot to be said for sort of having time off, but not sort of thinking, all right, well, we've got to, you know, make the most of this time off. You know, it is just everyone sort of being chilled and relaxed.
And this year, the nice thing this year is, I find, the 20th is a Friday, which means no one's going to work the following week. And then the following week, people might come back on the 3rd, which is a Friday.
Yeah.
So basically we got 2 weeks off, right? So, which is nice. And I think most people will take those 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
So you really get 2 weeks without missing anything. And it's a lot to be said for that. So
yeah.
Bless the French for having that idea in the summer. I think we should all do that in the summer. Months in
you know,
August.
and again, sort of,
months
you know,
in
I
August,
think with lockdown, everyone sort of talked about, it just shows like actually it can be good to sort of just switch off for a while. But you know, and then it was almost like, oh, everyone's going to take that forward. But I don't think we really did we?
I didn't. I just started paddling harder during lockdown. Do you know, next year, same as 2020, we're starting the year with Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, really?
You must have seen then that WTF. What the fuck?
Right.
So there's already rumours it's going to be a shit year. It's 5 years since lockdown. 5 years since lockdown. Think about it.
It's mad that in some ways that it was so long ago. But sort of going back to what you were saying about Christmas and about church, that reminded me of one of my sort of Christmas misadventures when I was 16, and we went up to my aunt and uncles and my cousins for Christmas. And me and my cousin, like, were only a few months apart, and you know, growing up, we you know, sort of grew up more like brothers than cousins, and basically, like, we'd obviously both just started getting into having a bit of a drink at that age. And I remember, like, my mum and my auntie and all the adults went to a party. And me, my 2 cousins and my sister went to the pub, and me and my cousin just got absolutely smashed. And then we went along to midnight mass, and I threw up in the church.
Oh no, in the church?
Yeah. Yeah, I just sort of remember, like, me and my cousin were just sort of like shouting out these carols, and all these people are turning round looking at us. And then I sort of got to that moment, I'm like, oh, the vicar seems to be, like, moving, even though he's standing in the pulpit. And I was like, oh, I don't feel well. And I sort of got up, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see my mum get out of, like, the pew behind me. And I was just getting out, and I was like, ooh. And I'd literally just sort of almost got to the door, and out it came. And, yeah. So,
yeah. I could say something really inappropriate about church, but I won't.
Go on. We can always cut it out.
Yeah, I think we need to cut it out. I mean, they have these bowls in the entrance, don't they?
Well, the font, the baptism font. You wouldn't be the first to make that comment. So, that highly inappropriate comment.
I think it's inappropriate, right? I mean, in my fraternity house, we at least had what we called a pope, right? We had two handles and a big old ceramic bowl where you can just spew into, right? And you could hold yourself onto the handles. So we did that properly. We called it the pope because, you were bending over.
Yeah.
Like you were praying. But
I'm glad you clarified that.
It's just
bending over in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, let's not digress into talking about church because I'm just I actually think we can digress a little bit into that direction because I had a few conversations recently that, and I don't know if you talked about it, but countries who have a common belief, so a belief in something bigger, like a god, usually do better in terms of community and everything else. And I read, a friend of mine, I discussed it with, and I'm sure I've read an article or listened to a podcast or something. And I can totally see that. If you look at America, right? I mean, it's a very God's own country, right? And they believe in a higher being. Whilst in Germany it's falling apart. In the UK, I believe it's gone. And it's not good for society. I honestly don't think it's good for society. So in that sense, I actually think church or an institution like church is actually a good institution. It's just I don't believe in it, and I don't have a religious belief.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ever have to put a religion down on the sheet, I would say Buddhism. But I see Buddhism more as a philosophy and way of living rather than a religion. That's why I still drink, for instance, and eat meat. Right, but yeah, sorry. Get the sun here, which is so nice, winter sun.
Yeah, no,
That's a bit dark.
Always have to, because we always obviously film at the same time, but it's always as the sun's going past. But, so what have your personal highlights? Well, what have been your highlights of the year, both personally and for the podcast?
Oh dear, you asked me a question. I didn't prepare any of that. So, personal highlight.
So that's pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah, is it? I don't know. My personal highlight, it's I point out in my newsletter, which comes out in the week after next. E.g., the day before this podcast goes live. So if you read my newsletter, you already know my answer. I think it was a rebrand. So the rebrand and the refocus of Baluda Partners to Obnatos and refocus on more coaching. And that's what I'm looking forward to for next year. So I'm really excited about that because it's something I wanted to do for a long time to focus more on coaching and leadership development. So that's, again, it's work related, but it's a personal highlight because I stepped out of my comfort zone and decided that's what I'm going to put my focus on.
Hello folks, it's Volker here. I hope you enjoy this week's episode. As you know, I coach executives, whether that is for leadership skills, or sales leadership skills, or working as a therapist too. There are few ways I can help you to get unstuck, improve your work-life balance, or become a better version of yourself. So you will be more productive and have more time for your family. Whatever it is, you can join my client list of people from General Electric, Pepsi, DHL, Boots, and many others. Book a free exploratory call via my website www.obnat.us. That's obnat.us. Now back to the show.
In terms of podcasts, it's a bit more difficult. I need to get the episodes up. I want to be honest because we as you know, we have recorded a few. I mean, we pretty much already recorded all the 100. Definitely the live event. I think that was a really good live event. Scrolling through our episodes here, I think Ian and Mark and Rose, I think they're all really good episodes in itself, and then obviously the live event with obviously.
Ian's most recent one when he came on and talked about his prostate cancer. Yeah, that was. I mean, I think that's something that, you know, well, it shows how strong he is, but I think it will give strength to a lot of people that, you know, sadly have been facing him. And I was going to say, funnily enough, because it's certainly not a funny thing. But my wife sort of said the other day, oh, you know, have you got any episodes on prostate cancer? And again, you know, it's like, oh, you know, it sort of highlights, you know, the work that we're doing, that, you know, it's like, oh, well, actually, we've got this guy talking about it and this guy and, you know, this expert. And, it's just great to sort of be in a position now where, you know, people do sort of have a men's health question and, you know, we can signpost them there. I mean, there's obviously a lot of areas we haven't covered, so... obviously, if you have any suggestions or any experts that you could point our way. I mean, I think gambling is something that I've been saying that I'd like to sort of do something on, because it's not, well, gambling addiction. I mean, it's not really. I've put a couple of bets on the Grand National, and I've been to a couple of stag do's where, you know, we've been at the races and I've put bets on, but it's never really been something that has attracted me. I think mainly because when I've tried it, I've just lost my money, so I've never got the that adrenaline rush that people get addicted to. But I mean, there was a guy that I used to work with like years ago, and he used to give me a lift home from work, and he'd be like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna go and pick up my winnings, and we go in there, and he'd put another bet straight down. I'm like, you've won. You know, why are you doing it again? And also, like, sometimes we'd have to sort of walk past where his wife would be parked, and he'd be like, oh, lose there. If she says anything about us coming back this way, can, you know, just say that we had to give Majid's car a push. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, this is obviously a problem. Yeah. You know, because he's having to sort of hide it from his wife. But yeah, you know, it was just the fact that he'd won, but then he put it straight down. I was like, where's the... But anyway, you know, and sort of it's sort of something that I've heard, you know, a lot. Well, it ruins people's lives. So you know, and I think that's sort of something that, so, you know, well, if anyone has, I know Paul Merson, the football commentator and ex-Arsenal player, he's spoken about it a lot. If there's anyone listening that happens to have a connection with him, please put us in touch. But if there's anyone else that has expertise in that area, sorry, gone on a bit of a ramble there.
Yeah, I bet it's going to be a really good episode.
Just need to find someone to talk to about. Yeah. Oh, I get what you did there. See, wait a minute. So do it again.
Okay, I bet it's going to be a really good episode. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I play the lottery every, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I do it on direct debit. It's about 40 quid a month, and I see it as a pure charity donation. Yeah. But it allows me 4 times a week to dream about winning big money.
Yeah.
I haven't. I probably never will. But then I'm going to die one day and go like, I gave lots of money to charity in the hope that I one day will win a lot of money. So I'm not a big gambling man. I put money on football or Grand National, and then I forget I have money in the account, and so I'm not too bothered. Other episodes. So I made a list now whilst you were rambling there.
Well, there we go. That's what a good partnership's all about.
I know. So Bernie was a really good episode. That was in February, I think. We had Anita Mulster on Vilifying Man, and she's coming back. We recorded the number 2 already. It's coming early next year. Tyler's episode was really good. And to be honest, I loved the day out with Tyler, and I feel like I should go down to Worthing again and do a sauna. Yeah. Such a thing to do on a Friday night. but it's 45 minutes for me, so it's not feasible.
Well,
so maybe I need to find a local sauna club.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, talk. People won't know what we're talking about. Come on.
Yeah. So so Tyler does organized runs and swims and saunas on a Friday night, and I think it's he does a lot of other things, by the way. So check out his website.
Check out his wife.
Wife?
Did you just say check out his wife?
No, I said website.
Sorry, I'm so full of Christmas cheer.
Yeah, so website of Tyler. Check it out because he does really healthy lunch. His wife is helping out as well. Yeah, maybe I was thinking of his wife. I haven't met his wife yet, so I don't know. But he does some nice cookies afterwards, and 6 sweaty men in a sauna. And it's just such a wind down after a week, and then going in the cold water. Oh, actually, it was really warm when we went. So I love that. I love what he does and how he turned his life around from wanting to kill himself, and he talks about it in our episode very openly. So
I don't suppose you got down there what episode it was.
It was in Tyler Slate in February, March. I don't know. I need to look up the number.
Okay, sorry.
And then last but not least, another episode, maybe a bit more cheerful, because I'm a big fan of all the episodes he has done with Tim Ferriss, was of course Jerry, right? Jerry Colonna. Is it Colonna? Yeah.
Funnily enough, I was talking about that episode yesterday in the gym. I bumped into someone I know, and we were just sort of talking about wanting to provide a better life for your kids, or a better invite than you had. And I don't. Sorry, I mean, but you kind of you want to make give them more treats or whatever than you had, but you want to teach them self-sufficiency, know, and that was sort of something that Jerry talked about quite powerfully, about. So it's and again it's great when you have an episode and you've got that in the locker for conversation almost.
Yeah, I mean, I reference the podcast quite a lot, particularly with middle-aged men, and we've done some serious topics, and I know we had a discussion not too long ago in terms of where we want to put focus, next year and so on. But spoiler alert, we're gonna continue as we were until episode 100 next summer, which I'm looking really forward to. That makes it almost 200 recorded episodes for me on podcasting, which seems a lot over the years. Or 7 years of podcasting. Started my first podcast in 2018. Maybe I should do a little dance. That's what elves do, don't they? It's just, I think, and the book is coming. We're working on a book. One of our guests thought we already published it. We're not that quick, but we hope to publish it next year.
I saw that.
Yeah, bless you, Roderick, if you're listening. Calling you out here. No, he was the first to contribute to our book, which is gratefully received.
He's contributed before I have.
I know. So it's all happening. Hopefully next year, that book, and I think I'm looking forward to next year. I'm very positive. Anyway, I should return the favor and ask you the question: what your highlights were personally, as well as podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the solo episodes with me.
Exactly, yeah. Weirdly, I'd say my biggest highlight was the first swim I had after, breaking my ankle. Like the first bit of, and oh man, I was on my crutches, like sort of slipping around the side of the pool, but I was just so determined to get in, and just sort of after like several weeks of literally not really being able to move that much, and then just having half an hour of kind of feeling normal again. That's a feeling that I'm going to remember well, yeah, and you know, for a very long time, and you know, and I think, yeah, the fact that, yeah, I got, well, as cheesy as it sounds, like I faced, you know, the biggest, probably when I thought last year was the worst year I could possibly have, and the challenges I faced last year. This year, I thought, you know, everything's going to turn a corner, and it was even worse. And you know, I got through it, and you know, I'm a lot stronger. So, podcast wise, I mean, yeah, there's a lot to choose from, but you know, I'm just going to give a little bit of a teaser. But I think last week was a new high, and you know, I think. Sort of, you know, spoiler alert. In terms of 6 degrees of separation, you know, we spoke to someone that worked with Mother Teresa last week, so I think that basically places us a step closer to sainthood. And you know, we don't need to go to church. We just need a 45-minute interview with someone that's extremely well connected, and you know, we jump the queue. But yeah, I mean, so basically, like last week's episode was incredible. You know, and I'm making light of it, but our guest was a really funny, engaging guy, but just had the most incredible story to tell, and most importantly, how, you know, that's kind of driven him and fueled his, you know, desire to do good. So yeah, that's sort of one that, well, yeah, really, I you know, yeah, gave me a proper buzz, and I'm really excited about that being published.
Every now and then, I think we get someone on the podcast, like Kenny last week, and I think these are people that, you know, they're doing so much good, and no one has heard about them. And it's such a shame, and you know, the more we can talk about these individuals, that if I say giving their heart, their soul, their whole life to help others, I think it's just fantastic. And yeah.
Well, and I think again you've hit the nail on the head though. That's what makes them so well, not extraordinary, but that's what makes them such good people, is that they're not doing it for the recognition. You know, they're doing it because, well, they're driven to do it, and you know, and they see the need for it. And you know, it's well, and the reason they come on to talk about it is not so they talk about themselves, but to share the message. And it's well, you know, and I think at this time of year, when, you know, and it's something I've talked about before, but you know, when you get so much negativity in the news, and you know, it's good to know that there are people out there doing their all to make society a better place.
Yep. Nicely said. Should we leave it on that note, I wonder? Given
I think
we're a few minutes in already.
Although that was going to be Gummibaum.
No, I don't do the German.
What's Christmas tree again?
Tannenbaum.
German?
Weihnachtsbaum. But the song is O Tannenbaum, or
that's right, yeah.
You know, thingy tree, needle tree. However, my most favorite music actually for Christmas, if you believe it or not, and that's something I do like about Christmas, and my family hates about Christmas, is a Weihnachtsoratorium by Bach, which I'm sure you have listened to. Maybe you haven't. Anyway, the Weihnachtsoratorium by Bach, a few hours of classical music, having that on my Sonos in the living room on Christmas Day, sitting by the fire, drinking whiskey, is heaven for me. That's heaven for me. That's a nice piece of music. Anyway, on that note, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thanks for your support. A good start into the new year, and we see you again soon. Hear you again soon.
Yeah. Well, you know, thanks for all your support as always, and have a great Christmas. and all the best for 2025. And don't put too much pressure to achieve all your New Year's resolutions by the end of January. It's it's about the long distance, not the sprint.
Nicely said.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Feel free to reach out to Volker or David via our website, www.manupdown.com or podcast@manupdown.com, with any feedback or to let us know what topics you'd like us to cover in the future. Hear you again soon.